everyone. Well, welcome to a special Facebook Live tonight. I'm so happy to be here with you. I have so many great announcements and so much good stuff happening for you. So today I want to talk about the 5 mistakes that high achievers make when searching for lasting love. Look, guys, I know that in every area of your life, you have it together. And what I want to talk about tonight is around the blind spots and the mistakes that you guys are making when it comes to finding love. So I want to start speaking about tonight about high achievers. And so many of you, if you're here, you inevitably really do want to find a soulmate. And what's really special and why I want to acknowledge you is that high achievers have a way of thinking, right? That's led you to success in other areas of life. And just a couple of weeks ago, I shared about the ways to apply strategic thinking to finding love. And you guys loved it. It was so eye-opening. So tonight, I really want to talk to you about the mistakes that you're making that you don't even realize that you're making. And that's the key to it, is that people often say to me, what am I doing wrong? I'm such a good person. I have so much to offer. Why can't I figure out this love thing? And so there comes a point when we get real about it. And the truth is we all are making mistakes for a very good reason. And that very good reason is that no one ever taught us how to find healthy love. This is what I talk about all the time. Those of you who know me and those of you who are new to the environment and to my work, I'm Bari Lyman, and I'm the creator of a method, a strategic method called the Meet to Marry method. And I help you to get unstuck in love permanently by breaking through the barriers, the unconscious and conscious barriers that are really getting in your way so that you can summon an amazing soulmate into your life. Because really, I made every mistake, all the mistakes. And so the point of it is, there comes a point when you don't want to make mistakes, when you don't want to just look good and you want to change it. And so there came a point for me when I just got sick of making mistakes. And I realized that if I didn't make new kinds of changes, then nothing would ever change. And I would continue to date emotionally unavailable men, men who were narcissistic, or the one that was such a good person, but oh my God, didn't share my religious values. I did it all, everyone. I dated from the very beginning, I dated a drug addict. He was handsome and charming. And it continued like that. And I was working on myself. That's what I want you to know, that I was always involved with personal growth, transformation, therapy. I read every book there was to read, but none of those things changed my life at all. So there comes a point when you want to say, okay, strategic thinking, pragmatism. What am I doing wrong? And how can I change it? And so, what I always encourage all of you guys to do who really are sincere about finding love is start to open up and start to ask way better questions. Okay. And you'll start to get better answers. And one of the mistakes people make is, again, they're asking the wrong question. They're saying, why are there so many emotionally unavailable men out there? And why It doesn't seem like where I live is so awful. I think I need to move. Like all of this thinking is rooted in mistakes. So I encourage you, instead of asking those questions that you have no control over, is to ask a very a healthy, high vibration, strategic question that will lead to a whole new way, a whole new life with a soulmate by asking this question. And the question that you really should be asking is what is it about me that attracts these wrong people? You see the difference? The mistake when we ask questions that we have no control over, uh, we're disempowered. But if you ask a question, you know, what is it about me that's attracting wrong people? Then we can make real changes. You see that? So if you're watching this recording or you're live with me, give me some love that you get it, that you want to change your patterns. You want to ask a better question and definitely get a better result. Okay. So, what I want to talk about now are some of the mistakes that we make. And one of those mistakes, again, is asking the wrong question. Another mistake that we make, and there are 100 mistakes that we make, but we're going to talk about a few to give you some perspective. And then definitely stay with me to the end because I have a very special resource that I want to share with you. And you're going to hear about it first right here. And it's been a bit of time in the making, and I'm so proud of it. And I hope you love it as much as I enjoyed creating it. So one of the mistakes we make is saying that, you know, I think I need to get out more. I think I need to get out more. Okay, but are you online? Do you have a strategy? Uh, when you look at what you're really doing, which could be nothing or anything that you're doing, when you say need to get out more, what I want you to look at is your entire dating history, uh, when you did date and you did get out. And if something isn't working, uh, just doing more of getting out, and you look at your patterns and you start to see what that pattern is it strategic to just get out more? I was speaking with someone who doesn't get out. She's very busy at work, super busy in her career, and that's her priority. And if she got out more, what would that do? Probably not that much because there's a reason she's not getting out, and there's so much more to it, right? Uh, because she used to get out, and it brought her wrong people. It brought her a marriage to someone that really made her feel lonely and unhappy. And so getting out more is not the answer. What we want to do again is to start to be in an energy and a mindset and a headspace of being a creator. Because if you're going to get out more, then you want to get into effectiveness, right? Because we know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Someone else I spoke to, is home, doing her career, raising a child. She's not getting out. But when we look at her history and we start to see what is really the pattern. And when we look at that pattern, then we could start to make real changes. Okay. Another mistake that people make is that they think that by taking a break from dating, that they're going to change. They take a break uh, to get to know themselves, right? And really and truly, when I ask people, well, what do you do when you're getting to know yourself? And you know what? It's a lot of contemplation. It's a lot of thinking about things, analyzing things. But really, eventually, whether it's months or years or decades from that break, inevitably they get enthusiastic again, go back out, only to meet the same people because the thinking and the contemplation didn't really do anything to change their own energy of what they were going to attract. It didn't give them a new skill set. It didn't give them new tools, which is a clue that it's not about getting out more. It's not about taking breaks because you could take a break. And what is that break really? That break is a relief from bad dating, right? So instead of taking breaks, we ask a better question, which is, how do I really get prepared to find great love? How do I change my perspective about love? How do I learn what it is? How do I open up to receiving? Now, most of us didn't learn great love. We didn't learn about receiving. We didn't learn about men. And as a matter of fact, the things we learned took us down the wrong path. Many of us were abused or neglected or criticized or taught like we need to be uber successful to find love or to be loved, right? So that's a big key to it. Another mistake people make, and again, there's like 100 of them, right? Is I need to move. I think I need to move to find a better quality of person, okay? Higher quality. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt that way? If you have, I'd love to know. Put in the chat. I know that I hear this all the time. And then you know what happens? People move. And you know what you know what actually happens? The same damn thing. Wherever you go, there you are. So I want you to know that wherever people live, if they live in New York, if they live in LA, if they live in a small town, if they live in another country, if they live in a rural area, if they live wherever someone lives, if they haven't found great love, you know, it's natural inclination to say maybe they don't exist. But I want you to know that your soulmate does exist. And guess what? You don't need to move. Why don't you need to move? Because it's not about where you live. It's really more about who you're being. And over the past 15 years, I've helped more than 1,000 amazing singles to find sweet, healthy, nurturing, conscious love wherever they lived. And what they discovered is that, wow, their person lived a mile away. Their person was like right there. Jody Eilers lived in San Francisco, couldn't find great love, and she was convinced she needed to move to New York to find the kind of man she really wanted. And she was someone who felt like she was extremely self-aware. And she was. But that didn't help her solve this problem. Because what you know up here is not an energy of heart-centeredness. It's not a resonance for understanding and embodying love, right? It really comes down to that as one piece of the solution. So what happened with Jody? She had a plan. We worked together. We opened her heart, her mind, gave her a skill set, cleared the things that were blocking her. And she met Dennis. And they've been married now, oh my God, 8 years. And she said she's the happiest she's ever been, and she didn't have to compromise on anything. And you don't have to compromise on anything. On the other side of making these mistakes, and again, trust me, I made all the mistakes. So that's why I am qualified to be your teacher, your mentor, to show you the way, because I do. I know both sides. You know, I've been married for 20 years to my soulmate, who's everything I wanted and needed. And after 20 years, it's as wonderful and exciting and growing, and that's a whole other it's so beautiful. I'll tell you another story. Uh, we have a client now. Her name is Rachel. She's really smart. She's beautiful. And when we met, she said, "Oh no, men in Houston, no, no good. No, no good. But the men in Chicago, they're way better. They're definitely way better." But here's the truth. She lived in Chicago for 12 years. So we had to fix that particular mistake. She was sure. That's the problem, Barry. That is what's wrong. Houston. So most of you may think that again, but everyone thinks that. So we start working together to clear the space, clear the past, change perspectives, get into an embodiment, future focus, start designing, architecting, understanding. And what happened? She met her guy. She met her guy. And her reaction to meeting such a great guy, where she's so happy, and we'll interview Rachel pretty soon. She's so happy, and this relationship is so beautifully developing on vision, values, goals, planning, dreaming together, spending time. And the irony is that she said, "I never would have dated this way." Right? So it's a mistake to think that you can't find great love where you live, or great love anywhere. And she said, the way I would have interrogated. I interrogated men. She was avoidant, right? So her energy, whether she lives in Chicago or she lived in New York or she lives in Houston, it would have been the same. So now she has opened up her heart. She's become curious. She's softened. She's become, way more ready to receive. And she's still a badass in her career, but she has like a great guy. So it's really learning the things that you don't know and stopping making these mistakes that could cause you to be cynical, closed off, not ready, and repelling love. Okay. So I have something really special for you, and I'm excited to share. And it's called The 5 Mistakes High Achievers Make When Searching for Healthy Love. And I understand that, you don't know that you're making these mistakes. And again, as a high achiever, you know how to get things done. But unfortunately, these mistakes are causing you to, instead of inviting great love, to repel great love. And then what happens is these beliefs, they keep you stuck. They kept me stuck for a couple of decades, really in a cycle of optimism, disappointment, going back out there, getting relief from bad dating, frustration and loneliness. And then unfortunately, getting into unfulfilling and really wrong relationships that are not rooted in the core foundation of what makes up conscious love. And I'm telling you, conscious love is so different than what we read about in the media and all the we grew apart and the bad relationships. If people had these tools and skills about conscious love and taking ownership for who you're going to be and what you attract and understanding what you really need in a relationship, there wouldn't be a 50% divorce rate. Our society would not have these problems. And like Rachel shared, she's completely different. Another story, we have a client, her name is Beth, and she's a doctor, and she's amazing. And she was also very unfamiliar with good, sweet love. She grew up in a home where it was high achieving was the most important thing. And I don't know if you could relate to that, but when you learn that love has to be earned through achievement, that totally dings our self-worth. And then we start to believe that our worthiness comes from being successful, having a great career, having money. But unfortunately, it's really bankrupt. You could have $1 billion and it would never be enough. You could achieve the highest accolades, it'll never be enough. Why? Because that belief system has neuroplasticity. It's like built in. And I would definitely uh, be open to changing that. And that's exactly what Bethany did. And within 90 days of a clear path to true healthy love, she met an amazing man. And I spoke about her. I shared about her in my newsletter. Which, speaking of which, if you're not on our email list, you definitely want to be. We send a very rich newsletter every week, high value. And that's where uh, Bethany was not used to receiving compliments, just wasn't. And so her guy is so giving and loving and aligned with her on all levels. And he once said to her, "You light up a room." And she was not so comfortable with that compliment. And he saw that and he said, "Well, we're going to change that." So, guys, things can change. When you stop making these mistakes, everything really shifts. So that's why I created this guide, the 5 surprising mistakes that you, as high achievers, make in your search for healthy love, lasting love. And it's not just any guide. It really is designed to help you understand how what you believe, your own energy, how that's getting in the way of connecting with your true soulmate. Okay, combined with having the actions, okay, the plan, okay, and some of the things that I expand upon in this guide are why you might convince yourself that love is not a priority, when deep down, I know that if you're here, if you're watching this, if you're in my world, that you know deep down that it is something that you want. Okay, and that's a mistake to not prioritize love, to not know what you really need. Another mistake you'll learn is how focusing on work, right? Or people pleasing or putting other people's needs and dreams ahead of your own and distracting, staying at work late is not is a big mistake, right? And it's actually keeping you from your soulmate, from the person who is waiting for you. Okay. You'll also learn why expecting to figure it all out on your own really could be stopping you from finding your true soulmate. And what do I want you to know? That, guys, healthy love is so your birthright. We as human beings are not meant to be alone. We are creatures of connection. It's just that somewhere along the line from our childhood, our modeling, society, how we want to see ourselves, we just don't know how to do it, right? And so we were born for it. And once you start to get real about it and take on a beginner's mindset, everything really changes. So I want to encourage you to download this guide. What you're going to do is you're going to achieve success. in this area. So what I want you to do is comment below uh, um, soulmate, soulmate, below this video. And then as soon as we are ready to release it tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon, we will send you this new chock full guide. Uh, and you'll open your eyes to to the mistakes you're making and how to change it. Okay. So comment below, love soulmate. And I want you to know that definitely take action on this because it's only going to be around for a couple of weeks and it's got steps and new ahas for you. And I'm also going to share a big save the date of November 17th, because we have a special, brand new retreat, a virtual retreat that's going to be happening. So I'm going to leave you with this, that as a high achiever, you've achieved so much, and it's not your fault, again, that you don't know how to do this. And in everything else in your life, I want you to get real about it. You've had a plan, right? In school, you've had teachers, right? You've had at the gym, you had a coach, right? All along the way, right? There have always been people that help you and show you and map out the way and map out the plan. So if you've decided that you are not going to be alone in 2025 and you're sick of the situation and you really do want to find love, then I encourage you to comment below soulmate and we're going to get with you. And I also want to know what your questions are. What are the mistakes you feel that you're making? Okay. So beautiful. So it's great spending time with you. I go live every week with a new training, and I hope you really enjoy the guide. And so I will see you next week for our next training. All right, guys, have a beautiful evening.